All right, let's get started again. Holy crap, man. Whew. I just had a good meal. We got these last two sections on this backside to sift. And so I like to keep this here so I can do my work, shovel, and then I can pull it down and then dump it. Okay. Now, I'm only going down a little bit from the level. Yeah. Nice on there. Now, sometimes if I run into something that I can't do with the shovel, that's when I break out the pole. It's a nice one too. I wanted this big enough that I could set it right here on this plastic, and then I could sort through it with all the rocks without leaving it on the floor and having it pile up, and then I can't get anything out of it. So whenever you're sorting for rocks, actually let me grab one other thing. Leave it up here. Either way, I can show you like this. So I'm gonna just move the soil a little bit just to see and grab any big chunks that I find. And this also gives me a little bit of a break from shoveling. So you're taking a break between kind of hard labor and soft labor. I call it soft labor, still labor. Moving earth, it still takes work. But yeah, I just move it back and forth. I try not to drag my hands. And then anytime I get anything that's hard, because sometimes it's just clay, you know, sometimes you get a little bit of clay, but I'm just grabbing rocks. I'll use these, I'll put them to work once I put the tarp back on it, because they'll help hold it down. But it's easy pace back and forth, you know. Now I've also put a lot of work into this plastic bin. I think it's 70 gallons maybe. The ones I usually use are 27 gallons, but I made a bigger one for this just so I could get through a lot of soil really fast. And I had the extra 2x4s around, and I just reused the cloth. It's another one. But it's just I call it a cloth. It's a hardware cloth, 1/2 inch. And all I did was drill in from here, drill in from here, drill in there, drill in there, drill in there. You know, I got washers on the other side. And then I can do this. And then just move them out of the way for now. Then it's back to shoveling. Usually if I see something big, I'll just take it out. Sometimes, I was going to say there's some in the corner right here that I should probably leave. No, didn't get it. Trying not to put too much pressure against the greenhouse. But here we go. That's not that big, yeah. Now keep in mind, I'm gonna backfill all of this, so. But I like to do this part to loosen up the soil, so that way it's easier to shovel it, you know? As long as I stay in the section, usually okay. And I can find bigger rocks and get them out before I even shovel. But I like to establish my boundaries. You know, I try to follow a line. It ain't perfect, but I'm following this 1/3 of the greenhouse. And so I'm using this section and this third to dig. But you can see how I'm not digging super deep. I was looking for my little, thought I had a small hoe. I have a big one. But that's what we're doing. We're just shoveling it, moving it back and forth, and then whatever doesn't fall is just going off to the side for now. And then we keep on keeping on, you know? Life's a garden, dig it. Yeah, this one here, it's a McLeod tool. It's good for moving rocks or clearing lines or ditches or whatever. I thought I had a smaller hoe, but for now I brought this out. I wanted to see how it felt because it's kind of heavy, you know. This is really meant for breaking rock. Do some stuff with my hand because I feel like I do better with that. Ooh. Gotta be careful with my left shoulder. I get all excited and start doing too much. Yeah. And then just, if you don't break your thing, sometimes your plastic band can't handle that. And for me, I do that when there's less soil because my wrist can only handle so much of that too. There you go. Now we're moving. Getting some of the big stuff out. Then we can do all types of stuff with the others. With the other rocks once we're done. Such a beautiful time of day, man. It's like 6 o'clock, I think. We got about an hour left of sunlight. So I think I can finish if I work hard. And I've been working hard all day. Let me switch this. I'm trying to stretch my hips because I've been walking up and down these hills mowing grass. My lower back's starting to feel it. Never have to walk a lot, and we have some, probably at least 2 acres that need to be mowed. It's not terrible, but I only have a push mower, so You put in work whenever you can. Luckily, I have a battery push mower, so I have to wait for it to charge, and that gives me time to take breaks. But yeah, you see how easy it is to just get a good majority of your stones out. Now I could use a shovel for this too. It's a nice thing about these hardware cloths. But some of this is hard clay that just hasn't broken up. So I just give it a little once over before I toss it. Hope I don't tear up my gloves, but I've torn up all my gloves, so. And then you go back to shovel. I haven't put the cover on yet because I don't want to poke through it with my bar. There's a couple big ones I saw. Trying to keep it close. Yeah, once I start to see that black on the bottom, then I know I'm too close. Because once I get to the bottom of where I'm digging, I lay down some either mulch or this soil I got for cheap. Just curious. Okay, there's an interesting group. Yeah, they're not big, they were just compacted. It's fine. Be like a little compaction right there, but I want to have a little space. get enough. All right, I'm gonna go grab something to drop down here. Be right back. All right. And then I have a rake over there, but you can just spread this around. And then you know that once you start tilling the dirt, once you start seeing this black on the bottom, and you know you've gotten too far. On this side, on that side, whatever. Let me go put this away. Oops. Yeah, in between shoveling, you get some light work where you're just kind of stretching your muscles almost. I always use this time to stretch my legs and my hips because they always get out of whack. Both my ankles are messed up and it puts a lot of pressure on everything, you know? Hips, your knees, your back. And so I know that what I'm gonna have to do is first get this soil cleaned out, get it amended with some organic material. I mean, that's got some wood and stuff like that, you know. And then I have some manure and compost I'm gonna mix with it also. So for now, I'm just sorting, just going through, and I'm mixing everything so that way I can plant my plants, man. My plants are, most of those plants are going to be going here in the middle. This outside area is going to be for other things like green beans or vining plants, you know, green beans and peas. But yeah, usually as long as I got gloves on, I can grab stuff. You gotta find the bigger rocks to make sure that the earth can get through it, you know? You want the soil to go through, and you want the rocks to stay on top. I gotta check my screws, man. I think my screws are coming loose. Plus, I know this plastic bin is on the verge of breaking. So I might be able to get this greenhouse done with it, and then I have to get a different one. It is my fault though. I left it too close to the wood pile. So when I was splitting wood, some chunks just went flying while it was frozen and just smashed the back of it, on the bottom and the side. I mean, I had to split a lot of wood this winter, this past winter. Everybody had difficulties. I was thankful that we had enough lumber in the yard that all I had to do is get a chainsaw and get to work. And then I've got all different types of splitting apparatuses, you know. There's always some type of wedge. Right now my wedge is screwed into the top of a log. Won't be able to do this when the lid's on. Feels like I'm stirring something in the kettle. They both take a lot out on my wrist, so I can usually get through two before I need to take a break. At least so far today. I got through those two. This is the third one today, on top of mowing the grass. So I've had a busy day. I'm trying to catch up. That's all it is. I'm just playing catch up right now. As long as I don't break my windows. Whoa. Well, that'll do it. Apparently, I reached the limit. What that handle can do. That was close one. We might need a new one sooner than we expected. Oh, it's only 50 liters. It's not that big. And get ready for the next one. And this is where I really just love having the bar, because I can just dig my way through it. Try to search for those big rocks might be getting in the way. These are right along the boundary line with the other one, so trying to make sure there's not anything big that I missed. That's why I love digging bars, man. It's so much easier to just break through the ground, you know? And then you're just looking for the big stuff, right? Now I'll shovel a lot of this, so I don't even know if this is in frame. Whew. My left arm doesn't have anything. I can do everything with my right for the most part. But my left shoulder, my left wrist, even after multiple operations, you couldn't fix it. Hey.
Can I talk?
Yeah, I mean, I'm recording right now. Yeah, because I'm not good at editing, man. I'm not. My hands only have so much in them.
I'll save my funny comments.
I broke it.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm going to use it till I can't no more. Oh my god. Where can I... Fixing that bar is fucking weird. Yeah, I got this last corner I just loosened up. We'll see if this thing can hold it anymore. Should be alright. It'll be fine. I'm gonna take a break in a minute. This actually looks like it would be an easy section. Like, look, now I'm saying that. I'm gonna regret it. Oh, it's been a lot of work today. Trying to make up for being down for 2 days. You got to make sure not to overdo it, you know? Big. I'm laughing all day thinking next time I'm definitely doing the no-till method. Because I don't even have a tiller. And I don't even think a tiller could deal with this rock. I need like a little wagon. But so far, me and my pole and my shovel are doing what we can. I don't know what the shovel was running into. I've been able to get through just fine. Oh, that might be it. Oops. Couple big ones. Not too big. These aren't bad. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I used to love to play in the dirt. Maybe it's obvious, yeah, we're right there. I'm almost there. I think it works out great, you know. The size of the tub I'm using works well with the amount of ground I'm excavating, you know. Couple of those, and then we'll backfill that just a bit. Yeah. It's just one part I'm looking at. Making sure that corner is good. Good size one. That'll be good. I know it's not going to be perfect. I know there's going to be parts where there's rocks, but we're going to have a lot of really fine sifted sand when we're done with this, and it's going to be mixed in with our compost and our topsoil that we got on the cheap. I know it looks weird. I'm just grabbing this last little bit. And it's mostly just soil. It's not even big rocks. It's a little grubby we're gonna kill. Send him on his way. I know they'll send more. There's a bunch of beetles. I've seen them. Just leveling it out a little bit. It was a little lumpy. Still isn't perfect, but close enough for government work. And now I see that little corner is black. I dug far enough there. what I thought right there. There we go. Now we're good. Sort through that soil. We'll amend this and come back and mix them all together. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't think this is heavy enough for me. Got a little shovel happy. So now I gotta figure out a way to get to the grain. For some reason, well, I know what it is. It's just a touch. It's easier for me to go through the soil just working it with my hands. I enjoy that as a little break. I mean, shoot, I could even bring my chair over here, make it easier. But it just lets you get a little better understanding of what you're working with. I'm trying to be a little bit more of a perfectionist than I need to. But my hope is that if I do it right the first time, it should be good for me for a long time, you know? The soil will compact over time. You add new amendments, you know, you leave the roots of old plants to slowly degrade and stuff. We're gonna make a whole living soil, that's the plan. So I feel like it only makes sense to literally get in touch with it, you know? And then I also use it as kind of a hand exercise, right? I use it to try to strengthen my fingers, my ring finger and middle finger. Those are the trouble ones. My pinky's fucking useless. So you gotta try to work them any way you can. And since I'm moving a bunch of soil, and it's not just earth, it's earth I gotta sort, you know? So appreciate anybody who makes it through the whole video. You know, I'm just working what I can with what I got, you know, till I can get something better. That's the idea. But I really want to start out with this ground like coming back to life, you know. And I know there's a bunch of people that'll say don't till your soil, you know, but there's a lot of people that'll say every now and then it's good, you know. So since this is the first time I'm working with this soil, I'm gonna till it to sort it, get some of the grass and roots out of it, get some of the stones out of it. I'm gonna leave some of the smaller stones, you know, but it'll be better over time. feels therapeutic, you know? Just feeling the earth, feeling the rocks. And then slowly looking at your pile getting smaller. And you're always kind of working through the thing, making sure that bigger rocks aren't obstructing the flow. So I'm kind of moving the earth from side to side, right? And in doing that, the rocks kind of rub against each other, and then they kind of fall through. And then whatever does not fall through just sits on top, you know, and then I can grab it and throw it out. So it's tedious and laborious, but it's giving me the start I want for my little garden, my little garden project. I want to start with a mixture of soils and compost and worm castings, and you know, and then I'll drop my plants in there, and then I'll have, you know, clovers to do nitrogen fixing, and then you just gotta cut them once before they flower, and that leaves all those little nitrogen fixing bacterias in your soil, and it'll help slowly make things better. Well, our back's starting to hurt. Definitely easier to do this with a smaller amount. But even so, as long as you're not filling up one side, you're okay. I'll usually work one side for a little bit, and then I'll work the other. And that way the soil is moving, and I'm not just filling up one side of the bin, you know? And besides, it's really hard to reach over there, especially with my left shoulder. Side to side and back and forth, you know? And we slowly just grab the big stuff, bigger stuff, toss it away. Everybody's doing yard work today. There's supposed to be a rain coming in the next 2 days, tomorrow and maybe the day after, so keep an eye on it for your plants. And I just slowly shift my hips and work my lower back and keep my core intact, you know? You never want to hurt yourself. Be mindful of your back and your core all the time, you know? A lot of people don't realize it. But man, you mess up your back, whew, it's hard. Hard to get it back. I mean, it's hard to get anything back once you mess it up. I'll tell you, my hands are fucked. But I spent most of my life, I feel like, training the rest of my body hoping to be an athlete one year. 1 century. No, I'm kidding. But I understand, you know, my body broke down, so there's no hopes of sports. But I still kept that mentality, you know, that I'd get up and train, you know, a couple days a week. Even if it's just sit-ups or push-ups or lunges or pull-ups or, you know, I used to do handstands all the time. I can't. No more. But I worked most of my life training, you know, my lower body, my upper body, my core. I love swimming. Swimming is like, it's perfect for us disabled folk. Swimming is like, I always joke with my wife, I was like, I'm not built for land. I should have been a mermaid, you know, my tits out on a rock, you know. My wife agrees. She should have been a mermaid too. So we do pool therapy together. Helps keep our bodies strong. And honestly, it's such a good bonding experience, you know, doing exercise together. But you gotta learn not to compete with each other. That's the hardest thing whenever you work out with somebody, is you wanna like do your best or whatever. You wanna keep up. You don't wanna feel like less than or whatever, you know? And I always joke with people, because I have a lot of endurance, in case you can't tell. I mean, I don't even know how long this video is. But I've been working since about 10:30, trying to keep up with what I missed the last 2 days. And try to get this part finished, you know? But I know once I start to feel like when I'm not getting that like exercise soreness, like you have to know the difference, right? Where there's like muscle sore, where it's like, oh man, I got a good workout, you know? And then there's like, oh shit, I hurt something sore. And now I can't use one side of my body, you know? So I always try to shift, you know? Keep my core centered, shift my hips, and hold my abs, and all of that just helps to keep my upper body strong and allow me to push and pull, you know, without breaking down. So far, I mean, knock on wood. But that's what it's about, you know. It's like balancing your things, you know. So I shift my hips, I put my weight on one knee, then the other knee. You know, it's all about figuring out where you're going to compensate and then adjusting for that compensation, you know. We all got weaknesses, but you don't want to stay compensating for too long, you know. You really wear out one side of your body really fast. And then you don't have that the strength in that other side of the body to recover it, you know? That's what I learned. My right side was always really strong, but my left side's always been really weak. So I've always had to try to focus on adjusting my hips and shifting and stuff like that, because I can't walk with my left side. I have to walk with my right side. But, you know, everybody's got their own struggles. You know, I'm not saying, I know I'm a lot better off than I thought I would be. We were lucky to find this property, and we were super lucky that it fell into our price range, because they just reduced it. And then I was lucky a third time because I kind of taught myself how to walk again, training in the mountain like I used to do when I was a kid. Me and my dog used to run through mountains all over West Texas and New Mexico. Both of my sisters like to run cross country, so I would train with them and I could run circles around them while we were running long distances. I've always had really good endurance. And I'm like I said, I'm lucky again that it might be a gift from my father, you know, genetics. He was a Raramuri. Well, no, not my father, my grandmother. My great-grandma Lupe. She's from Chihuahua, Mexico. They were, I want to say it's somewhere in the Copper Canyon region, the Barrancas del Cobre. But she came over the States. I don't remember, I want to say in the 20s. But I'm thankful that I have the endurance that I do. Now I'm thankful that I went through, you know, training for sports to learn how to breathe, to learn how to position myself, to learn how to adjust, you know. But it just takes practice. You don't get good at anything if you don't try it, you know. Push this over there. There's already some big rocks here. Excuse me. Started to get some indigestion. I gotta fix some of mine. I want to say some of mine. My screws came loose because I got some leakage on that side. And I'll probably use a lot of these small rocks in that corner to brace the wood. And I pretty much shoveled the whole damn thing in there. But I definitely say I think a lot of this is thankful to the pool therapy. My physical therapist that we used to see in Charlottesville, her name is Jody. She's amazing. She helped me figure out that there's only so much I can do. And when you can't operate to fix something, you just have to be really careful and treat it gingerly, you know? And I'm not good at that. I'm learning to be better, but I'm not good at it. Understanding your weaknesses, you know, part of life. Never going to be perfect at everything. almost done. Feel like I'm getting closer. That's actually making me excited. Yeah, my next option was going to be to just put legs on this thing so I don't need to use the bin. And so I think that'll be the next thing. I'll have foldable legs on this thing so I can just set it down over what I want to sift. And it'll make everything easier. But I'm happy I got 1/3 of this done today. Minus like 2 things I did the other day. But oh, being sick sucks, man. I hate it. I don't like not feeling good. Unsubscribe. No, I'm kidding. Whoop, there it went. I knew it was coming. I had a feeling. I put too much weight on it. It'll be alright. I think we can get what we need out of it. You might lose a couple rocks in there, but for now, I'm gonna keep using it. I'm gonna keep using it and try not to keep abusing it. Yeah, I had a feeling I needed bigger washers and more of them because I only put 4 on each side. Apparently, when you're moving the amount of soil I'm moving, need a bit more, but it'll be okay. Trying to use leverage right now to hold it against the plastic, and then I can just sort through all these rocks really quick without funneling them down into the other side that broke. So it is kind of working so far. Slowly, slowly. Get some of these rocks out of here. That once you break something, that's always your time to take a break. Oh, I guess that means we have a tool repair break. There we go. Now we just chuck them best we can. Yep. Now, I don't know if I can move it that way. Let's find out. Da-da-da-da. I'll be right back. Yeah, so I'm just getting the dirt out of my glove. Both of them have like dirt compacted in the fingers. Yeah, I could go and grab some tools, but I have hands that'll work. They'll do the work. Put some organic matter down. You know, this is a mix of stuff. It says it has some fertilizer or whatever too, so we'll take it. We just need the wood chips. That's why I like to buy stuff that's made for growing in the ground. For in-ground gardening. It's not as light as the potting mix, but it also has a lot of wood chips that'll break down and turn into healthy soil. So. And now we chip it. This reminds me of like being a kid and going cow tipping. Oh, I don't know what that is, but we'll hold on to it. You gotta get your shoulder under it. I was doing chip that easy. I was joking. All right, there we go. Is that part done? Well, we're still gonna mix some compost with this. This is just like where it was starting with. And it still has some rocks, you know, it's not perfect. But once we add some compost and mix all this up together, that'll be a nice starting medium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 4 bags of compost. I gotta go grab a couple more. And then I gotta start on this side, the middle. And then I'll rebuild that outside wall to make sure that's all sturdy too. Oh, I did get a little excited. But yeah, that's where I'm starting. I'm getting everything kind of where I want it. I will bolt these down in place, but for now, I may finish more tonight, but this is enough for the video. Y'all like and subscribe. We'll see you more later.